What's up, everybody? Welcome to AEW Uncensored. I'm here with my man Alan. We are the Bridge and Tunnel Connect. We are Null and Hash. It's been a while since I did the duo, man. I mean, I was gonna
One
fuck it
skip
up.
week.
We are Null and Hash. Right, one skipped week and it goes out the window. We are Null and Hash, and we are the beast from the east
With the least
research. And as you can see on the screen right now, the Iron Sheik does listen to the fucking podcast.
Yep.
Here is his tweet. Do some fucking research. Otherwise, go fuck yourself. So the Sheik has told us to go fuck ourselves.
I think we need to keep that as the image from now on under that logo. That needs to be a constant.
That should be a constant, right? So let me move it up between us.
That's pretty good.
I'll shrink it down a little bit. Uh-oh, it's growing. There we go. So I'll leave that there. So as always, man, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the thumb, hit the bell. Please hit the subscribe button. Smash it, hit it, crunch it, whatever the fuck they say. Get everything we do at uncensoredalliance.com. All the links to everything. Twitter at AEW Uncensored. Email AEWUncensoredPodcast@gmail.com. Love mail, hate mail, all kinds of mail, send it to us. We are on Facebook with a page and a group. Search AEW Uncensored Podcast in the search bar. You will see the page and the group. Like the page, join the group. You can find us on all third-party podcast applications, podcatchers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Also find us on Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Please review us and rate us on iTunes. That and Google Podcasts are our biggest platforms, and the higher we can get, the more activity we can get on those two platforms, the better it is for us to get put out there. Also, join us on Skype, link in the description, the podcast description, as well as the YouTube live description. And if you're listening to this, if you want to join us live, we are live every Sunday at 3:05 Eastern U.S., so that is Sundays, every Sunday. And join us live. Get on Skype. Get with us, We want to have a conversation with you guys. And that's pretty much it as far as promotional shizzle.
I just wanted to shout out Simon. Thanks to Simon for taking my place last week. Really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, Simon is in the chat already. He says, evening all. What's up, brother? Just kidding. I love you, man. You hooked it up last week. Appreciate the hang. That was fun. All right. Fuck it, man. Let's just start it off. I don't know why I had a curse there. I do have a cursing problem. Sorry about that.
Well, we now have a permanent curse on the screen for all time moving forward. So there you go.
I do need to find a way to slip that in there somewhere. maybe right there. I think that works perfectly. Simon says Megatron stepped in.
That's right.
HWO taking over 50-50. All right, let's get to it. Let's go. Dark. Go ahead. Start us off. You got one thing on Dark. I got something else.
Yeah, Dark, I just got the waiting room. It was a very odd show. First of all, it was really short. It was just Ricky Starks. He's coming out, and he's just like all over Britt.
All right. They were kind of flirting back and forth.
Yeah. It kind of came a little bit out of nowhere. And then I was actually hoping that they were going to do more with it. And then all of a sudden, Shivani comes in, tells her to put her jacket on, tells him to step off, and the show just ends abruptly. It was funny. I was really hoping to see more going on with Starks.
I mean, I think they're kind of leading it to something, and I enjoyed the Shivani part. I like because Shivani's kind of been out of the Brit mix for a bit, So
it's been a while.
I actually was just thinking about that last week, going, man, he hasn't been around in a while with Brit, so I kind of missed it. I liked it. He goes, see that picture? And he points to the picture on the wall. I thought that was funny. He's like, that's me and her. That I got a kick out of that for sure. So we'll see. It's going to turn into something.
Yeah.
Just a matter of what. The only other thing I had was when Brodie Jr. was on commentary during
Oh,
Tens.
yeah.
Yeah, during Tens thing. I loved him just laughing and having a good time. He's doing the intimidating Excalibur and stuff, and I guess Excalibur owed him $5. I don't remember what for. Probably bet him on one of the Dark Order matches or something. But he's giving Taz all the love, and and he's going, I love violence. It's just fucking funny that this kid's going, I love violence, and you could just see Taz. It was just funny having Taz and Excalibur so like off their game because of it.
Well, Taz keeps corpsing. Like, this is the second week in a row where he just can't control it. He's cracking up, and it is a lot of fun. I hope that this is something that they do maybe on a weekly basis. Maybe you bring him out for one match.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against
time.
it. Yeah, during one of the Dark Order matches,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against
Yeah.
it. He eventually intimidates Excalibur enough that he walks off set, which is I got a kick out of it. I still think the best. I mean, like the first time he did it was what last week or the week before. Yeah, I mean. It was so natural where he basically was like a professional. He gets on there, he goes, Taz, good to see you. And and Excalibur starts talking and he goes, Excalibur, shut up. He just basically, I mean, that's some pro heel shit right there,
It is.
Oh man, I get a kick out of that. But other than that, I didn't have much. I do listen to the Acclaim, the Rat. Was a little disappointed this week in it. Couple good spots, but it was pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's pretty funny, pretty good stuff, but I did like what he said to Danny Limelight. You're lime because you're sour, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You're light because you got no chest. I thought that part was funny, but overall it wasn't as good as he usually does.
And we got to see Ty Conti in another match, and she's going to be in another match next Tuesday too. So they're finally the scientific use of her.
ATA, baby. So all right, on to Dynamite. Listen, man, you gotta love a show that's called Beach Break, and people are wearing Parkers out there.
Yeah, seriously.
People, I posted this on Facebook on a couple things. Like, what the fuck possessed them in early February, to call anything Beach Break? I get it, you're in Florida, but it's still cold down there. It's February. It's not April or May. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think I called it out on the show too.
Yeah, I don't understand what the timing was for using that name now. It just didn't make any sense.
It cracks me up because people jump on you when you say stuff like that. It's like people are like, oh, it's this and that. It's like, what? You make no sense. No. It's not summertime. Like, that should be a late spring, summertime thing.
Even if they had it in California, it still would not have worked either to call it that.
Right. Oh, that just kind of like, it just thought like as it's like Beach Break, all this beach shit, and there's Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring with a bubble vest on. Look, he's like he's straight out of New England. Oh my god. So we start off with the tag team battle royal. The one thing that they did during this was Cassidy gets up to the top rope. Again, this is something I don't like about current wrestling too with battle royals. You never go to the top rope. No. You never use the so it's very it's kind of annoying. But Cassidy goes to the top rope. He dives off the top rope. Everybody was looking at him and backs off, and he totally misses him. I obviously feel like that's a jab at Jim Ross and the fans who agreed with Jim Ross and such. I think that was kind of contrived, a contrived situation. And I also look at it and go, we still are fucking up camera angles, TNT?
Yeah.
How do you miss that they have to replay it?
And, the thing of it is that they've had, camera issues since the very beginning. They do not work well with a battle royal, period. Like, for what you have to do in terms of a battle royal, in terms of having the proper angles at the right times, if they were going to screw up at all, of course, this is going to be the match they would screw it up.
Yeah, I mean that was a big big move right there, like where there was an impact to it where there was a reason everybody moved out of the way. It wasn't just a throwaway thing. It was a very planned out situation.
Yep.
How the fuck do you miss it? How do you miss it and have to show it on a replay?
Yeah.
I mean that's ridiculous. And again, rightfully so. People complain about they stand around and catching shit, so I don't want to say I'm agreeing with their little petty bullshit, but it was funny, but I still totally disagree with standing around and catching people. For me, the last half of the match was bad. A lot of sloppy work. When there was less people, it was actually sloppy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that, but it was like really just messy.
Yeah. I feel like they were able to hide a lot more when there's more guys in the ring. Like the whole match itself looked a bit sloppy, but you didn't notice it as much when there were more guys in there.
Right.
So you're right. Once it came down to fewer people, it was very apparent how sloppy it was.
Yeah, it should have been way tighter. With 6 guys or so, it should have been way tighter. Darius, I don't know if you noticed when Darius Martin got tossed out. He looked like he bounced his head pretty good off the concrete.
He did. That looked pretty bad. That's not the first Battle Royal this month where that took place. Something happened also at the Royal Rumble in that regard. But that did not look good at all. I hope he's okay.
I mean, obviously the padding's there, but it bounced his head pretty good.
It did.
I can't remember. I believe somebody kind of went over and like ran up to him to see if he was all right. So apparently he's okay because haven't heard anything about it. What do you got on the Battle Royal yourself, other than those couple points? What points do you got on it?
I mean, it's interesting to have a tag team Battle Royal just in terms of the overall concept. It's not something you see very often. I do, as much as I don't like the tag team situation at AEW, I do appreciate that they decide to go with that for format, as opposed to just doing more tournament matches until you got to Chris Jericho and MJF winning. So it was a nice way to just, cut out the fat, get to the point with it. To your point, I did find it to be pretty sloppy. I think they could have done a lot better with it in terms of, the talent that they did have in the ring. But the end was obviously, very predictable. You had to have Jericho and MJF win. You have to have them have that tag title match at Revolution. And
then they toss Sam. I mean, Jericho tosses Sammy out.
Exactly.
So that furthers that. Yeah. And then, I'm surprised. I'll be honest. I thought the Bucks were going to win when they inserted themselves into the match.
Oh, really?
I really did.
Okay, I did. Yeah,
as it went on, and I saw it was MJF and Jericho, I realized, okay, that's the only way they're going to push these guys into a title contention. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. I have a feeling that's where everything's going to go south, maybe, in that title match. Probably at the pay-per-view, unless they do it before that. So,
well, they're having the match at Revolution, so I completely agree. I think that's where this is going to blow over. Something is going to take place at that event.
Yeah. Real quick, before we move on, let's see. Kenny says, what's up, everybody? What's up, Kenny? Good to have you, brother.
Yeah, Bake is back.
Simon, what's up, Kenny? HWO. Simon says, I think the ROTA, I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure
grows with the mix. Grows with the mix of promotions and jobbers being signed. It looks like more multi-man matches to come, gents. Yeah, unfortunately. New World, what's up, brother? Asks, what's the story? What's the Iron Sheik story? It's kind of just a joke. We always say we do least research because we don't dive too deep into this stuff, and sometimes our notes aren't super detailed. We kind of go off memory, and my memory sucks. So the joke is we do very little research for our podcast. So a friend of ours, aka Shake Jimmy, who is a listener and actually a friend of ours, he posted that in our chat. Me, you, and him. Me, Alan, and Jimmy have a little Facebook chat, and he posted that in there. And we're joking that he said it to us, but it wasn't directed at us. But we're playing it up, and we're using it to our advantage. We're basically saying the Iron Sheik listens to our podcast and sees we don't do research and told us to go fuck ourselves.
And also, just to go a little bit further, because also there's not a lot of folks necessarily who know about what the Iron Sheik does. The Iron Sheik tweets all the time. Anytime he's tweeting, he ends it with "Go fuck yourself." So this is a common theme for the Sheik. Everything he puts out there is very passive aggressive like that. He is hysterical. May he live forever.
Simon, is Rhoda not an American word too?
I've not heard of it. Is it?
No, sir.
Is it an acronym?
Is it
or
short
is it a
for
word?
something?
Yeah.
Is it?
I thought for maybe it might have been an acronym, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what he says.
All right, so moving on. Next up, we get a Jade vignette. Yeah.
You sweating to that?
What's
Were you
that?
sweating to that?
Oh, yeah, I subscribe to it.
No, were you sweating to that? To her workout? Never mind.
No.
Terrible joke. I don't know. Jade.
She was sweating. She was working out. So anyway,
forgot. I totally forgot.
We got Darby and Sting up next, and of course Darby and Sting are out there. So Team Taz has got to break in. This is going to be another 6 weeks of this shit.
This is yet the next episode in the adventure comic strip, where you're just repeating all the same stuff with different moving the pieces around.
Yeah, it's so they break in, of course. Say they're not allowed in the building because they attacked the vendors last week. Sting basically, it's Darby's going to be wrestling Janella. Taz alludes to the fact that they're going to be in the building to make some shit happen. And of course, Sting says he'll be there to have Darby's back. Surprise, surprise. Nothing's
changed. It's the same story.
Changed.
It's incredible how long now has Sting been with the company? It's been weeks and weeks.
2 months.
Has it been months? It might be months at this point.
Oh, it's been about 2 months.
Yeah, they've covered as much ground in 2 months that you normally back in the day would have covered in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So.
And he hasn't said anything.
He hasn't said anything.
in 2 months, he's basically done the same thing every week.
Yep.
I'm not gonna shit on Sting. I mean, he only does what they plan. So.
Oh yeah, this is not his fault at all. This is how they're planning the story, and I don't know. Maybe they're worried about he's not going to remember his lines or whatnot. It's really weird. I don't get it, but it's so stalled. It's just so stalled.
Yeah. Yes, sir, Simon. Yes, sir. We get Britt versus Rosa next. For me, it was an overall good match.
Yeah.
She's got to stop being so obvious. She literally backs off to do it's the second week in a row where she's trying to do she's going to do a move and she leans totally in to like basically get in a person's ear to tell them what she's doing.
You're talking about Britt?
Yeah. She backs up to do a move, then she literally decides, oh shit, I'm gonna tell her about the move, runs back up to her, tells her to move, then backs up and does the move. You know what I mean? So I just it's kind of like, come on, man. I don't know, find a different way, because you're not being subtle and it's not making you look good.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that she's improved a lot, I think, overall in the ring. The match itself was really good. When you're looking at the caliber,
yeah, it was a good match.
Who she was up against, but you're right. It's very I don't know. It's kind of like what John Cena used to do. He used to practically shout out what the next move was going to be. Backdrop, toss the ropes, and she's doing that too, but just overly, just like backdrop. It's like.
Yeah. Instead of yelling it, she's just running over to people and whispering in their ear.
Which makes it even worse. It's like...
I'd rather hear it. I literally would rather hear it than fucking see you run back over, whisper in the person's ear, and then go do the move, you know?
And obviously, though, you've got so few people now in the arena who are watching that I guess there's no choice, but there's got to be another way to do it. Get some sign language in there.
There
or something.
is. I mean, as you're in the process of doing other moves, be like, hey, I'm coming. You know, the stomp is coming.
Yeah.
You know, if you grab the back of the wrestler's arms and you're doing that motion that you do before the stomp, they know what's coming.
Exactly.
So what do you really have to tell
Yeah.
them? You know what I mean? Anyway, I thought the match was all right overall. So from that, we'll move on unless you had anything else in particular.
No, just that outside of that, I mean, you know, we were talking for months about Britt, you know, improving the ring ever since she was injured, and there's definitely been a lot of improvement overall.
For sure.
The move set and just how she works in conjunction with the opponents, and obviously, you know, Rosa has a lot of experience. That's a good a component for her to work with. So, yeah, I've been overall very impressed with her outside of that.
You know, it's kind of funny because she does all this weird rolly shit.
Yeah.
A lot of the women do this shit. They do this weird rolly shit, and they can get that down and that choreographed almost flawless almost every time.
Yeah.
But they can't get basic shit down, which drives me crazy.
Yeah.
How about less focus on the roly-poly shit and more focus on basic moves, and maybe it'll all come together, you know? That just kicked in my head while you were talking about it. Simon says, I thought this was far improved from Britt. Likely the best performance I've seen from her. I would say probably the second or third best. I think when she first came back, she had not the cinematic match. I think the match after was really good with her. I think it hit on all cylinders.
Oh yeah,
but this was definitely up there.
Face?
I don't remember.
But you're right. I do remember that. Yeah, I remember thinking that after the because I thought that the cinematic match was put into place because she still had to get her bearings. But I do remember thinking that once they finally had her in a regular match for the first time, you were able to see really just a huge market improvement.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Hangman and Hardy versus Chaos Project. No interest in it.
Either.
Stupid. I have like Matt Hardy. Every time I see him, I'm just like, turn the channel. I want to turn the channel. And I'm not I'm not a channel turner. You know what I mean? But I just got on my phone and fucked around. I didn't take any notes. Do you got any notes on it?
Not so much. I mean, I feel the same way. It's a shame that I've been feeling that way about him for a long time now. That whenever he's on, it's like piss break time. It's really just he offers nothing now, and it doesn't make sense why you've got someone like Paige, who's a rising star, who they're trying to put into the limelight. Right. Why are they pairing him with Hardy? It just doesn't make. I don't see where the rub comes in. If they were facing each other and Hardy was maybe going to put him over, fine. But to have them together, it just doesn't make any sense. The whole match did not make sense as to why they're just putting them together like this at all.
Yeah, I mean, they used the Dark Order thing, for him to get back, I know they're disappointed. Maybe you could, get back for, who did he say? Was it -1?
Yeah.
I forget exactly who he said, but he's like, you get back, for them fucking up -1's birthday. That was it. So, and maybe, you'll smooth things over with the Dark Order. So that's how they used it to get involved. That's how they transitioned the pairing, but
it just doesn't make sense. I feel like you could have inserted anybody else in there. It would not have had to been Matt Hardy.
Right.
For the purposes of.
And Simon says Big Money Matt is better than Delete Matt. And I agree. I think I totally agree with you at this point. But I also I wasn't feeling that either. So it's like I'm not feeling any iteration he's got.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I feel like if they had gone back to Big Money, then I would have been a lot more intrigued because I enjoyed the Big Money character for the short time that he was around. But now he's just this vanilla version. It's not really much of anything. Or I feel like maybe he's trying to do a bit of an amalgam of different versions. And he's trying to form one personality around it. But it's nothing that's really clicking whatsoever.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll just move on from that then. Because, I mean, let's be real. Not like Chaos Project is anything.
No. Exactly.
If this was on Dark, I would have fast forwarded it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And this match probably should have been on Dark, except for Paige getting involved. I guess this should have been a Dark match. Come to think of it.
Right. So we get Jericho and MJF. They're in the back. They're celebrating a win from in the Battle Royal. Sammy's not happy, of course. Voices his opinion on it. They say, "Listen, it's just collateral damage." Yeah. And Sammy goes, "Well, we're always collateral damage," and he's right. I mean, basically, it's Jericho gets to shine, and Sammy leaves. He walks off. Jericho follows, trying to run behind him and be like, "Hey, like, what's up, man? Let's talk." And MJF tells the Inner Circle, "I think it's time we talk." So it's that whole Jericho's gone, Sammy's gone. I think we should have a talk, guys. He sees the writing on the wall, and he has Wardlow kick out the cameras. So,
I like that, actually. I like that touch that they got rid of the cameraman for them to have that chat.
They're good at that. They're good at that. And Tony Khan said he wanted to do that. He didn't want to have the cameras. Simon, you just fucked up my flow right here. I'm about to kick ban you from this. We need mods in this fucking chat. So yeah, Tony Khan said he's gonna be very mindful of the camera and not having that I forget what they call it, the ghost camera, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
the invisible camera.
Yeah.
But you see MJF's making his move. I liked it. I like that he's like, "Hey guys, we got to talk."
Yeah.
So it's obviously going to be MJF moving forward with some iteration of Inner Circle group. What? Who knows? But real quick, I will. You know what, man? I'm not even going to give you shine on that, Simon. You're just trying to get under my skin. You son of a bitch. But go ahead. What you got on that little segment there?
I liked it because it's true. I like the way they use the term collateral damage. And I like the way Jericho just threw that out there. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what we are. So it was very good in terms of showing the schism. And this just lends more credence, I think, to the fact that, yeah, something's going to take place at Revolution. I don't think they can really go much further with it. I think, obviously, they've been taking their time with breaking this down and showing that division. But there's only so much more they can do with it, I think. It's come to a head at this point. And having Jericho and MJF, win that right to challenge for the titles at the pay-per-view, you can't do much more. So I do see it coming to a head there. I think this is one of those final nails in the coffin to really show why it's going to get there. And the fact that they have the cameraman out of the room, you've got the side discussion going on, all the pieces are there. So I would like to just see something take place already with this.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. It's got to be the pay-per-view, I would think. Now you said Vision kind of kicked off something. Did you watch WandaVision yet?
Oh hell yeah, dude! Here's the thing. Quick side note.
Yes,
I laugh when people ask me if I watch it. I'm like, I watch that shit at 7:30 in the morning every Friday, and the reason I have to do that is because I know that once I start getting into my meetings for the day, my coworkers are already going to be talking about it. They've either seen it in advance or they've seen it as early as I have. So I have to make sure that I have it covered before I get into these meetings.
So, how great was the end of that? Did they recast him? And it was the Fox X-Men version of Quicksilver.
Yep.
So I thought that was fucking great. I like how they were like, wait, she recast her brother, and she was kind of looking at him like, wait, you're my brother, I got a kick out of that. So you said Vision, it kind of clicked WandaVision for me. So just had to bring that up. I can't wait to see where that's going. I do like that they kind of decided who they're going with for the Marvel cinematic, the new MCU, right?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I mean, they're trying to go what you call it? What do you call with the different
the
parallels, the multiverse,
Yeah.
right? So they could still bring the other Quicksilver in for a whole different movie
No,
or something or
they
show, you know?
absolutely could. I mean, I think
So
there's more to
even this
this.
one,
Yeah, even this one. I think there's more
even
to
this
his
one,
appearance, but I don't want to say
right?
anything. But yeah.
Okay. Don't spoil it for me there, Disney boy.
It's something
You
that I
got all
know.
the
I'm just
scoops.
guessing based on my reading of the books and just where I think I see they're going with it. But okay,
Okay.
so Simon and Kenny now are really trying to get on your
Yeah,
tail here.
they are. So I'm not gonna I'm not even gonna acknowledge these fuckers. All right, let's get back to wrestling. But that was pretty cool ending. So we get the Kip and Penelope wedding.
Oh shit! This was the drizzling shits, man. This was fucking awful.
All right, I'll give you my
Go
opinions.
for
I'll
it.
give you not even my opinion. I'll give you like the rundown of it on my side, then I'll hear yours. It was cool to see James Mitchell. You know, they made a couple.
Yeah.
They made a couple quips. You know, sinister minister, blah blah blah. You know, so it was a nice twist to see him there. You know, then you got Miro giving his speech, and of course the big present. It's the breaking of the fourth wall, kind of.
Yes.
You know, it's like, you know, there's always that, you know, the big gift with the person in it to attack somebody. So he kind of calls out, breaks the fourth wall, clotheslines it, nothing in it, throws it outside. Chuck, go get it, go clean it up. So Chuck's going to clean it up. As he's outside the ring, he takes a real long leg cuffs one to the post, cuffs one to Miro. Miro's kind of like oblivious to it, which, you know, I could see. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but, you know, it's whatever. I get it. So now he's shackled to the post and realizes what's going on. Chucky Taylor attacks Kip. There's a whole thing. Penelope goes into the cake face first. Then Penelope jumps on Chuck Taylor. They kind of get the upper hand again. Miro's gone. And then, of course, Chuck takes over again. And then out pops Orange Cassidy from the cake. So it's the swerve. Of course, they're always in the box. Nope, they're in the cake this time. It worked. I mean, you kind of knew that was coming. That worked. I mean, I get it. I like the box thing. I kind of like the breaking of the fourth wall. I don't think everything was done smoothly here. I think there was a little too. I don't know if I should say too much, but it was just a little off. There was something a little off kilter about it.
It felt overblown. I mean, a lot of these wedding sequences feel overblown. This one felt particularly overblown, though. The only thing that really made me, and first of all, just very quickly in regard to the cuffs, you know, him getting locked in, the fact that he couldn't feel that was really stretching belief right there. That he did not feel something going down. Like he was like, "Huh, what is that on my leg?" That was a little weird. That he didn't feel a thing.
I mean, he could have a high boot on. He could have lightly put it on. You know, like, yeah, I'll suspend that disbelief. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not like they showed it and he was really struggling to get it on,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like you didn't see it, so you could say, well, he was very stealthy about it. I mean, shit, you have people that will walk up on you, you don't even realize they're there. Next thing you turn around, you're fucking jumping out of your skin,
That's
you know?
true.
So, you know, think of it in that term.
The one thing that had me laughing and was that, you know, and I don't know if you caught this reference. I know you don't watch WWE, but when they did say, you know, if there's anybody in the building who has a reason why these two Miro's like, no, I've been through this before. Don't even ask that question. That was good. I
didn't get it in the WWE sense, but I got it like in the overall sense. I got it, you know, like, you know, fuck that question.
But that specifically happened to him twice, actually. That was pretty funny that they pulled that in. That was the only thing that got a legitimate laugh out of me when this whole thing went down. I like that. That was good.
That makes it even better, you know. Like for me, like not knowing that it had something to do with the past is cool.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, Orange pops out a cake, and what do we get at Beach Break? We get a Beach Break by Orange Cassidy.
There you go.
Surprise, surprise. So we name an entire show just for Orange Cassidy's one move at the wedding. We did get Miro saying that he failed to throw the best bachelor party.
Oh yeah.
They scraped that, right? We get all the way to the wedding, and there was no bachelor
Yeah,
party.
you're right. You know, I didn't even think about
So
that until that came out.
he does mention it.
Yeah.
He does mention it. He does mention how he failed.
Yeah, that's right.
The best man is not the best man, apparently. So wedding's over, wedding ruined. Some good parts, some bad parts. I thought as a whole, it just was a little plotting. Maybe it is the word. Some parts were good. Some parts were smooth. Some parts were a little rougher.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm just not invested in it to begin with. So
Me neither. I mean, I think we both have not really been very invested in this entire story since it started coming out. So the fact that it finally comes to a head here is just like, okay. And they got married. It's not like the wedding got interrupted. It didn't get broken up. You know, it happened. So. Right. Okay.
And listen. Miro was good in it. Miro was good in it.
He did a good job.
His speech was good and all that and such. I like the the whole the whole box. I see that box. You know, he's looking at he's pointing at the box and so I dug that part. But yeah, again, so. What do you want to cap that off with?
No, I don't think much else. I mean, it was a cringy sequence. It was something that we knew was going to be a cringy sequence. But I am happy to say that Miro was the best part of everything. Like, he was the best part of the entire skit. So good for him on that. Yeah, let's make him a monster.
These fucking guys in the chat. I'm not even going to give them shine. I'm not giving them shine, bro.
Okay, I will agree with one of these, and it's not the one you think.
All right.
The Ford wedding dress, yes. Yes, I'll agree with that one.
All right.
That was pretty good.
I'm with you. I ain't even saying that.
How you gonna fucking curse? So I know, I got it.
How you gonna try to get us to props up somebody? Get out of here. I ain't even saying it. So all right, so we'll move on. So next we get the Jade and Shaq versus Cody and Red Velvet. They make it official.
Yes.
And they make it official for a Dynamite. Why are you putting Shaq on the Dynamite?
I don't know what they were thinking with that. When I remember when I heard that, I thought that I might have misheard it. But
right,
it's like this is probably going to be the only match he'll be in, maybe, unless they're thinking that this is going to lead to something else that they're then going to want to say, okay, now we'll have
at the pay-per-view.
One at the pay-per-view. But still, you're going to waste.
But it's like a week later.
Right, it's a week later. You're going to waste his first appearance 1 week prior. Is it 1 week? Yeah, 1 week prior.
Yeah.
And then, so even if you use him again, you've already removed the shine because you've already seen him. It would have been like putting Tyson on Raw the week before he was on WrestleMania. I don't get it. I don't know if there's something big about that specific Dynamite, but again, why?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is they either want it for the go home show, something big, or they're gonna do something from that, like you said, into the pay-per-view.
Right.
So we'll see. Who the fuck knows? If it works, it works. We'll see. I mean, we've had times where we thought something was gonna suck, and they surprise us.
Yeah.
So, and we've had times where we thought stuff was gonna be good, and it sucked.
I mean, the only problem before we move on is that if they do have something take place that leads into the pay-per-view, you haven't left a lot of time to really promote it at all. You're having a 1 week time frame to promote a possible thing that may take place in this that leads into that show.
Right, but I think they're banking on people watching for Shaq and then it happening on the show, so then they're going to want the pay-per-view.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, fair enough.
If you look at it like that.
Yeah. Okay.
We get to Archer and Kingston in a lumberjack match, and can you guess my notes? Another messy lumberjack match.
It was very... I really wish this was not a lumberjack match. I wish they would just have the two of them going at it. maybe put it into a street fight of sorts. You didn't need the lumberjack match, and as always, every time they do a lumberjack match, it sucks.
Yep. Archer going over the top rope was wild.
That was cool.
I give you that.
That was cool.
I'll give you that. I mean, that was crazy.
Yes.
But a mess of a match. Too much going on. Both guys did well in their parts, but just with that whole other shit, it was just a mess.
Yeah, and they got too involved. That's the thing. Once again, you get the lumberjacks too involved, where it takes the focus away from the actual match. So
right, that's. I don't recall lumberjacks being that involved. No. They go out, they get beat down, they get thrown back.
Exactly, and that's it. That's it. Once they throw them
now
back
it's
in,
like
that's the end of it.
Yeah, now you got full-on wrestling matches happening outside the ring against the guy, and then the two sides go have full-out wrestling matches with each other. You're trying to reinvent the wheel that needs no reinvention.
Exactly.
It just needs a fresh look, or you know what I mean? That's it. You just slap a new coat of paint on the same car. You know what I mean? That's all you need. Anyway, we get FTR and Tully. They get a promo aimed at Jungle Boy. Then, of course, as the promo is ending, they reveal that they have Marco Stunt captive, tied to a chair. So
this had me laughing, actually.
Yeah, so that's fine for me. I really think that kind of, I'm good with Marco in that position.
Right.
I'm really hoping they're moving this shit away with Jungle Boy. I really hope Jungle Boy's getting the breakaway. They really need to step him up. Again, I don't mind Marco or Luchasaurus being there. I just think that he needs his own singles run.
Yes. Well, hopefully this might be the start of that. The fact that he was singled out, he went to Tony Khan, he complained, he got these guys suspended. Hopefully that is the first salvo, I guess, of them saying, yeah, let's break him off a little bit.
Yeah. Simon says Archer versus Kingston, only half of how good it was the week before. Yeah, I still didn't watch that. I just still didn't rewatch that match. All right, so we get to the main event. We get Omega and the Good Brothers versus Pac, Phoenix, and Mox. Real quick, the Penta thing, I don't know how true this is, but I read something today that it's not an injury that he is dealing with. It's actually visa issues that he's trying to get worked out.
Okay.
To work in this, in the States. So they're probably playing it as an injury angle. So that's just something I read. I don't know how true it is. We'll see. I mean, as time goes on, again, least research. As the Iron Sheik said, go fuck ourselves.
We'll have to include that in the intro from now on. It would be like,
I'm literally.
Well, we'll say with the least research, go fuck ourselves.
Go fuck ourselves. So listen. Here, this is the double-edged sword. I think I read this on Facebook. So again, these are the same fans that'll be like, is Jon Moxley going to return as Dean Ambrose in 2 months? It's like, because it could literally be that guy, or I think Dean Ambrose needs to fight Kevin Owens. It's like, wait, what? Yeah. What are we talking about right now? It's like, it could be one of them fucking guys who put this up that he's doing having a visa issue and not a real injury. So just as a caveat here, I just need to put that out there. Who knows how fucking true it is? Least research.
And even if it's not a visa issue, it might be something else too. Because aren't there still just issues overall with anybody traveling to the U.S. from overseas with what's going on with COVID?
I mean, I don't know how much. I know people are traveling out of the U.S. and coming back. I know UFC fighters are going to Abu Dhabi.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Back. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it could, who knows? So then we get, again, we're back. We're at the main event here. This match, me, again, I said this last week, fast matches and me aren't always great, but this match was fast and good.
Very good. I mean,
very good.
You had everybody who was in there is gold. So you really didn't have a bad
executing. Yeah, executing flawlessly, and I think what's that? I think Gallows. Wait, which one is Anderson? The big Gallows is the big one,
smaller
right?
one. Yeah, Gallows is the
Yeah,
big guy.
Dude, that dude turns purple with like 2 moves. He looks like his head's gonna
He
explode.
blows up so quickly, and it makes me a little worried about his conditioning. Actually, yeah.
I mean, he turns purple.
Yeah.
Man. I got a kick out of that, but dude, Phoenix with that rolling dive at like 100 miles an hour. Holy fuck!
Awesome. They need to push the hell out of
He's
him.
great, and he is scary at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another quick side note: I just seen today that he's having issues with his name, trying to get Ray Phoenix
with the copyright.
Yeah, they're like it could be confused with Phoenix because somebody has Phoenix. I'm guessing AAA, or somebody has it. So he has like 6 months to get them all the info they need to determine. So he might end up with a name change, man.
So somebody else is using Phoenix with that spelling?
Yes, but like I said, it could be all AAA because AAA owns Pentagon
yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's right.
That's why he changed his name to Penta L0M.
Boy, he can't catch a break. It's like every time he changes his name, somebody else got it.
So yeah, that's a little side note. So at the end, you got Archer clears out the Good Brothers. Moxley's about to attack Kenny, right? Then out from the crowd comes a masked man, and pulls off the mask after hitting the GTS. Right? He hit the GTS first, then he pulls off the mask.
He hit the GTS after he pulled off the mask.
Okay, he pulls off the mask, hits the GTS, reveals that it's Kenta. I had heard, this is just, last week, the week prior, Moxley had confronted Kenta at a show in the States, and they were face-to-face. I don't know why. Again, I listened to some Facebook fuck without actually digging into it. I just didn't dig into it because I didn't think it would cross over.
Right.
As much as I wanted it to, I didn't think it would. So I didn't really look into it. I saw the still photo and somebody said I was a faked photo or something. So I kind of just bit into that, again, Facebook fan bullshit. So for me, yes, Simon, you did predict it. We spoke about that. But again, I said I wasn't too sure because I didn't, like I just explained, I didn't delve into it. You know, Simon, I believe, watched that whole thing. So you definitely were on point with it. And fuck, man. The GTS was awful. I'll tell you that.
That was the only thing that marred the whole segment was that GTS.
Right.
He basically GTS the hand.
Yeah.
And then you got Moxley sitting up after he, gets... He lies down.
Go ahead. No. Tell it like it is, bro. Tell it like it is. You're like, oh, that was the best sell, bro.
The sell was great, except for the sit-up. But with the way he went down from it, the way he initially went down after that GTS was great. He dropped like a stone. But you're right. When you had mentioned with the sit-up, I watched that again. I was just like, yeah, it's true. That was a little bit silly. But the way he dropped
the sit-up was a little too much.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Fuck, man. New Japan, AEW, Impact, AEW, AAA, AEW. I'm sure MLW, anytime they want, they would be in bed with them. They've done a lot of behind the scenes with each other, with contracts and stuff. So, I mean, man, wrestling's looking good with AEW right now. They got shit to work on with their own stuff, but I'm excited to see New Japan and AEW get together and finally, get things rolling. The other thing was, I don't know if you caught this, but they announced Kenta and Kenny versus who is it next week? Oh man, I already forgot.
They announced
Kenta and Kenny. Yes, Google it because I'm fucking blanking right now. I think it's Moxley and somebody else. Moxley and I can't remember. You Googling it or not? You ain't tapping shit.
I'm looking as we speak.
Archer. That's right. Archer. It was Moxley and Archer. So they have Kenny outside running down Kenta. Hey, Kenta. Hey, what's up, buddy? well, greetings from the American club, and basically he throws it too sweet up, and Kenta goes, he basically gets, get the fuck out of my face. He get out of my face. He's like, so it plays to that whole Tama Tonga, with the whole, you're not the Bullet Club, you're, fuck the Elite, that whole thing. So ironically, Kenny says, I want this match with with me and Kenta, but it's also, there's like that, what's going to happen with the Bullet Club and the Elite / Bullet Club. Does it end up in a swerve? Does it turn into a full-on battle between the two? I'm interested. I'm very interested, and that's piquing my interest, I think, more than anything going right now. Not that I don't care so much about the Bullet Club, but I think the story is very compelling with the Bullet Club at this point. And the fact that Kenta was like, I don't even fucking know you. Leave me, like, shut up. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
So then Kenny says, I'll smooth it over with Kenta, but I asked for I want this match. And, he runs after Kenta. So very, very, very interested. Very interested. And obviously you had Finn Balor posting on Twitter about the, copying the different Bullet Club members. And then Adam Cole, put up the Bullet Club, and, basically because Finn Balor left him out. So I believe Finn Balor was the original leader of the Bullet Club, right?
That's correct. He was the first one.
And then it was AJ
then it was
Styles. Right?
I gotta tell you, man, it would be. I mean, this will never happen, but man, would it be something? All of a sudden, once these contracts drop, if you've got Styles going over, and you've got Balor going over, and if they really want that back in their lives, and they see what Khan has put together here, I don't know.
The problem is he just signed a 5-year deal, Styles, so he's going nowhere.
Was it 5 years
Balor,
he just signed for? Really?
I believe it was.
Jesus.
I believe he said that'll be his last wrestling contract.
All right, never mind.
Balor, I'm not sure when his contract's up. I could see it. You saw Cesaro. They said he's re-signed.
I was shocked when I heard that. I really honestly thought that Cesaro was actually going to be going to AEW, because he has been very vocal about the fact that he's really just been treading water for all these years. When I heard that he re-signed the other day, that really surprised me, because I was kind of thinking that he was going to be prime for AEW, because the fact that they're doing nothing with him, and he's so damn talented.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, he's off the table. Not that this has anything to do with Bullet Club, but talking contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see Balor. I don't know when his contract's up, and Adam Cole's been a kind of a one that they've been talking about. So he's another guy that could end up coming over.
Absolutely.
Once his contract is up. So there's a lot of shit coming in the next year with AEW. Throwing couple of these guys with contracts coming up, if they jump in the mix, the new TV show, the expansion of the YouTube shows that Khan has kind of hinted at, the New Japan, the AAA, the Impact, possibly MLW. I mean, it's endless right now what could happen, and it can only, I think, be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think AEW's gonna get better. They've gotten better on stuff. They haven't gotten better on other stuff. I think the talent will surely get better in ring wise as time goes on, because a lot of them are very young still. So I mean, AEW's got nothing but an upshot, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they're the fact that they've got their hands in all these cookie jars now with all these different organizations, they're getting access to a lot of talent who can school the folks who still need that rub and need that schooling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say, people get this whole sports-based stuff, like I mean, do you consider Mid-South and WCW sports-based? I don't know if I would consider that sports-based. What is sports-based? If I want sports wrestling, I'll watch amateur wrestling.
Right.
So for me, I don't. When they say sports-based, I don't like that term. I don't know why they originally used it, and now the fans are clinging to it. For me, I would prefer more traditional professional wrestling, and that is the biggest glaring issue I'm having with AEW is they are not they're doing a lot more indie than I would want, and a lot more slapstick and dumb soap opera dramatic shit that WWE does and that WWE has done in the past than they do traditional pro wrestling, the comedy, etc., the
Yeah.
indie shit. I would really, not sports based, I would prefer professional wrestling based in AEW, and then to focus a lot more on that. I am good with some comedy. Obviously, it works at times. The problem is when you have half the show being comedy, and it's like, what are we? Are we a comedy show or are we professional wrestling? Are we a soap opera or are we a drama? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
just
what you're referring to is kind of the direction that NWA was going in when they were on. When NWA came back, I think they were more delving into that form of wrestling that you're referring to here. Not so much funny stuff. You've obviously got the backstage segments, you got the promos, but a lot of it was really more focused on the ring work than anything else. And I agree. I mean, unfortunately, again, you've got the Bucks who were part of the elite, no pun intended, in terms of who runs the company. So I think you're going to have that independent indie feel that they think works, and it doesn't. And
it doesn't. It works on the indies for a reason.
On the indies for a reason. Exactly. This is the big time.
We've said it many times why it works on the indies. Yep. I don't want to get back into it. It doesn't. It's not true professional wrestling in the sense I just kind of described. I think WWE really is to blame for what wrestling has become. They really, in the Attitude Era. I mean, listen, WCW wasn't doing the bullshit that WWF was. In the Attitude Era on, they really drag wrestling down to a fucking, they're having segments with guys in bed with a like a 90-year-old woman, and it's like, what did that really have to do with wrestling? And now that's kind of carried on to where now wrestling, it was always a male soap opera per se. Yeah. But it wasn't in the vein of a soap opera. Well, if that makes sense.
You're right. And think of it this way. How old is Tony Khan? I mean,
he's younger than us.
He's younger than us.
30-something.
So think about this. Tony Khan grew up during the Attitude Era the same way you and I grew up during the 80s.
He says it.
Right.
He says
so
it.
That.
But he's an aficionado who has watched the territory.
Sure,
you know what I mean? So
he has, but he didn't. It's one thing that he watched it as an aficionado.
I know what you mean.
Versus he grew up with the stuff that you're saying is so bad, which is bad. And it's true. It's like, yeah, you're referring to Mae Young. She gave birth to a hand who showed up 25 years later as a guy in a hamburger helper outfit saying, "Hey, I'm your son all grown up." It's like, what the fuck?
And the fact that they even played it up 25 years later is what makes WWF trash. That they literally kept that 25 years later and brought it onto another show. It means that they never fucking changed and went back to wrestling base. But I get it. It's like, for me, it's G.I. Joe. Anybody who's a Power Ranger fan, the fuck was that trash? Yeah. You know what I mean? I get it. So it's like, even if I had watched it and enjoyed it later in life, it's like,
I mean,
it's not the same.
Think, and again, we had such a small taste of it. I would have liked to see more. I unfortunately think that what we did see in the new NWA is probably the closest that you're going to get to what you're describing you want to see more of. And it would be nice if there was more influence taken from what they were trying to do in the short time that they were back out. But it's hard because it's like, okay, you try to convince young people today that baseball is such a great sport, and the young people watch baseball, they're like, this is so slow, why does it take so long, why is it 9 innings, why is there no time limit? But we love it because we grew up with it, and even though it's slow paced, we found there to be drama in that, there's excitement to that. And unfortunately now everything has to be so bang, bang, quick, quick, funny, funny, that is unfortunately what wrestling has evolved to. And as much as we would love it to rewind backwards out of that, I don't know. The other unfortunate thing about the Bullet Club, and don't get me wrong, I love the Bullet Club, but the Bullet Club also comes from the indie scene. So the fact that Khan now has his hands in all these different organizations' cookie jars, which is great. It's exciting that you get to play with all these different pieces. The majority of those pieces are stuck in that mind frame that you're talking about, unfortunately.
I think partially they come from the indie scene. Obviously, it started in New Japan.
Yeah.
And they've taken. There's been guys from the indie scene that ended up as prominent members of the Bullet Club, etc. And guys like the Bucks, who indie-rific, bullshit. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's hard to put the cat back in the bag. You know what I mean?
That's the problem. So. This is unfortunately seen as evolution. This is the evolution of the sport to try to make it exciting for fans, for who are watching it today. And guys like you and me, who've been around since we were kids watching this stuff, we're not, unfortunately, the target demographic anymore. That goes for so much stuff today.
And it's funny because what was it, like a week or two ago? I was sitting there going, I might just quit the podcast. Like, I might just stop doing the podcast because, I mean, even AEW is getting to a point.
Oh, you said that actually when I wasn't here. Yes, that's right.
It's like, no, I thought I said it privately, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. I thought it was.
I was like, I'm thinking to myself, going, I don't know if I could really stick with this shit. It's just too much. It's as much as AEW brought me back, I'm starting to like a lot of this shit is really giving me WWE vibes that took it away from what I loved, like we just spoke about, what I loved about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But then they go and they have something happen and I'm like, fuck, like I'm in on it,
Yeah.
Like the Bullet Club, like the whole New Japan thing. I'm in. The Impact thing, Kenny Omega winning the title. So there's obvious things, but I do have moments where I'm like, I might just be done with wrestling again.
Well, you know what will tell the story? I think the rest of this year will tell the story. The fact that they've gotten to where they are now, right now, where Khan has all these business arrangements with these different companies, especially in New Japan. I think it's easy to say that by this time next year, we'll know whether or not this is worth watching anymore. We'll know whether or not is this truly the phase they're going to be stuck in, no matter what kind of talent they're bringing in, no matter what organizations they work with. And if so, does that mean that, okay, this is the future of wrestling? And if it is, then maybe you're right. Maybe we're just not meant to, this is not meant for us anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's unfortunate.
Yes.
Again, that goes for so many things. It's not just wrestling. It goes for so many things today, unfortunately. But wrestling for sure.
Right. Sometimes you can't relive things, Sometimes you can't get that same feeling back that you know what I mean, like
and look at the
that
caliber
you had when you were a certain age,
right? Exactly. And look at the caliber of fan we have today, Bill. We got this guy in the chat saying that Stream Element is better than Sting. I mean, no respect for the classics. So here,
no respect,
this is what we're talking about.
Simon has been trolling this whole time, and I've ignored him. So just so whoever's listening, he's been trolling. You know what it is he got that little shine, that little rub last week, right? And he's trying to show off for his HWO crew, and he's trying to take the shine with him into the chat. So
Jimmy's missing quite a chat today.
Well, Jimmy's like, I'm watching the Super Bowl. My team ain't even in it, and I'm watching it. Shut up. Like I said, who the fuck wants to watch a fucking championship game when your team ain't in it? That's one thing I'll never understand. That's why the Super Bowl's a joke. Unless my team's in it, I don't give a fuck who's in it. You think I want to watch some team win the Super Bowl that I would prefer my team to win? Get the hell out of here, man.
Well, that's why I think if you think about it when it comes to the Super Bowl, most people who watch it, like I know a lot of people watch it, they don't give a damn about football. They watch it because it's the thing to do. Right. They want to see the commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to see the halftime show. It has nothing to do with the actual game itself. That's the sad thing about it.
So you hang out with a lot of women, is what you're saying?
Actually, that's true. The last couple of Super Bowl parties I went to, that is true. Yes. Yes.
There you go.
In fact, yeah, I was the only guy at the Super Bowl party I went to last year. So yes.
Jesus Christ, bro. Hope you got laid off of that one. Oh man. So Simon's trying to get that rub, but I ain't gonna give it to him. Listen, he had that rub last week, and now he's trying to bring it to the chat. Kenny says if I took your advice, Bill, I'd never watch the Super Bowl. I get it, bro, but like, why do I care? Like, seriously, why do I care? You know what I mean? Like, I saw my Super Bowls. I'm a Cowboy fan, so I saw my Super Bowls when I was younger. If they never win another one, so be it. I'm actually kind of not watching football for the last 4 years because it's just like a whole thing. But just my boy was Romo. A lot of Cowboy fans shit on Romo and thought they were going to get something better. They didn't get nothing better. So surprise, surprise, these are fake ass fans. And I said, you know what? Good. I don't need to stress about watching my team anymore, lose or win or all that shit week to week. And I don't care if they go a decade without winning. Like, for me, I want those fake ass Cowboy fans to suffer for another decade of losing just because you're assholes. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But, yeah, Kenny, I mean, shit, your team was fucking brutal this year from what I seen. Again, I didn't watch, but I did look up the standings to see what the NFC East looked like this year towards the end, and I saw that Jacksonville was 1 and something at the point that I looked. Who knows what they finished at, but yeah. Tony Khan could sure put on a pretty decent wrestling show, but he definitely can't get a good football team.
No.
And I don't know what Simon's talking about. Tottenham Hotspurs.
Oh, that's
just
his
that
team.
name.
I love the name.
Yeah, just that
name is fun.
That name is so crazy. Tottenham Hotspurs in the Super Bowl final, right? So I'm assuming that's a soccer team, aka football. In football in Europe. But Eddie would love Simon. Eddie and Simon would probably have a good banter. I wonder if Portugal's in the same league. Probably not, right? Separate leagues, I would think.
Oh, I don't know.
I guess
to say.
Yeah, I don't know either, but Eddie's. You listening, Eddie? Give us a shout, bro. But anyway, now we're talking about all kinds of random shit. I think we're done with the show itself, right? That was it.
That was it.
Now you get the little insight into our mind frames of other things. WandaVision, you excited?
Dude, for me, because of the fact that I read I know the comics history of Wanda and Vision. Mm-hmm. I have multiple things in my head of where I think it can go, and it's not a secret. This is not spoiler or anything. They've said this. I mean, this is leading into Spider-Man 3 and into Doctor Strange 2, so it's part one of a big story, and I like this is the format that they've chosen to do that. So yeah, there's only 3 episodes left, so we'll see where it goes.
Oh, there's only 8 episodes.
8 in total. Crazy. So, and then after that, don't forget, I think 2 weeks later, Falcon and Winter Soldier premieres.
Nice.
Yeah.
That I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that starts on the 15th, I think, March 15th. Yeah.
Is it true that John Bernthal is coming back as Punisher?
I have not heard anything official about that whatsoever. There's been so many talk about the Netflix characters, and I have not heard a thing. The only thing that I read, and I don't know if it's true, is that what's-his-face who plays Daredevil was spotted filming for Spider-Man 3. So
good.
There was that, but again, nothing. I know nothing. I know one thing official about Spider-Man 3, and I can't say what it is, and has nothing to do with any other actors or anything. So I don't know.
They need Vincent D'Onofrio for.
Oh, they really do. He's been going hard in the paint for years about that. He's been saying for a while that he wants to play Kingpin in the Spidey movies. He has really been talking about that for a good number of years now. So would be nice.
Kenny says, Hell, I'd be down for a Marvel second podcast when Bill starts to hate wrestling.
We could replace AEW with Marvel Uncensored or something. Well, I may not be able to do that. Actually, I probably can get in trouble. I'd have to be careful about what I say.
Here's the deal. I don't know comic books that well. I'm a fringe fan. Like I'm a late in life, cartoon,
Sure.
Knowing characters as a kid fan, not a actual read comics fan. Alan is like Alan knows inkers, writers, whatever the fuck else you call them, all that shit. Alan knows these guys in and out. He knows their work. If he saw them, he saw the drawings, he'd know who drew it. He's that type of fan. So I probably wouldn't do well. I could talk about what I see, but I wouldn't know much about backstory stuff. But I mean, it's definitely something we could weave into like a pop culture thing or a toy thing like we've done in the past.
Yeah.
That kind of was more pop culture overall, but heavy focus on toys. But yeah, I don't think I could hang with a full-on Marvel, just a straight Marvel podcast. You think I sound bad now? Oh my god, I'd be fucking lost in the sauce, bro.
Well, Simon just took a dig.
See, and Simon just says it. He just said. What's funny, man, is like, my memory's so bad. Like, I go back, I watch clips of shit that I know I seen on Nitro, and I'm like, I don't remember this. It's like it's so crazy that I just don't remember. Like, I just watched the Cruiserweight tag titles. I completely forgot all about them.
Really?
And I don't even I do remember that Ray and Billy Kidman had won them. I forgot that it was like only like a week-long fucking title and then the company was bought. I forgot all that shit. But I do remember them winning it. I could have swore as I'm watching it that it was a longer, like the title was around longer,
I feel like it is harder to remember the WCW that stuff that took place between like 2000 and 2001 as they were winding down. It was just that stuff doesn't really stick in my brain as much as the other eras did. I don't know if you're the same way or not.
No, for me, it's just my memory sucks. So I like even even all the stuff that I'll see a clip and I go, it jogs my memory, but I'm just like, damn, I forgot about that. I couldn't run. I'm not that guy that can go back and be like, yo, you remember this happened in 90? I can remember a couple things, but I can't go back and be like, this happened in 97. This. I can't replay angles and storylines and stuff, and I can't. So that's what kind of sucks about my memory when it comes to wrestling is like I lose a lot of that stuff, Sadly, but it is what it is. I mean, so Kenny says so. I would have to research this time. Yep, for sure. So.
Well, you got all the tapes,
all right, man.
right? You got all the tapes, so you can just
I've got
all the tapes.
Footage.
Like
I've got all the footage, but the problem is getting time to watch.
I know.
It and,
that's my problem too. Is just having time to do more things. I'm trying to
between that
and
again.
Like I'm trying to actually read books again, and I'm finding I have so little time to do it. I can't.
Yeah.
So.
Life, bro.
Life.
Getting old.
And getting old, yeah.
So, all right, guys. I think that's it for tonight. Short but sweet.
Yeah.
We extended a little for you guys. Non-wrestling jibber jabber. Well, slightly a little bit of wrestling in there, but thanks for joining us as always. Like, share, subscribe. Hit those buttons. Hit the bell. Give us a thumbs up, please. AEW Uncensored. You can find everything we do on uncensoredalliance.com. Twitter, AEW Uncensored. Email, AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. Love mail, hate mail. Questions, comments, statements. Search us on Facebook, AEW Uncensored Podcast. We have a page and a group. Like the page, join the group. Find the audio version of this podcast on all third-party podcast applications, podcatchers, whatever you call them. Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeart Radio, and of course iTunes. Please rate us and write a review on iTunes. That would be helpful. Catch us on Skype, description in the link in the description of the audio and the video on YouTube. So send us a message there. From there, we can bring you on the show for a call in or whatnot, whenever you feel like it. And as you see, we like to be interactive with the people who are listening live with us. So we'd love to have some more people. And shout out to obviously to the guys in the chat, even though Simon was trying to take that shine into the chat from last week that we put on him and, throw me off. I was ignoring it. Shout out to Kenny, New World. We saw you earlier. Shout out to you. I don't think I missed anybody else. Scroll up real quick. Looks like that was it. So, of course, guys, we love you. Thank you, everybody who listens. I love you guys, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.